Peace, peace, peace. Welcome to the channel. I am Atone. This is aToneTarot, Sagittarius. You are tuned in for the topic of what plot twist moments do you need to be aware of from now until the end of the year. I'm going to break down your message using the Egyptian God Oracle, pulling one card to get the overall theme of what that plot twist message looks like. I'll pull 10 cards from the tarot and some relationship oracle cards, 5 of those, because if you weren't aware, which I'm sure you are, Sag, it is that time of year, winter solstice, holiday season, New Year's resolutions, Thanksgiving, people closing out their fiscal budgets. It's all kinds of now newness and what we got, how we gonna close this thing out type of energy. So let's take a little peek and see what's going on or what you need to know as far as any plot twists that are going to pop up on you for the end of the year, between now and the end of the year. If you could, please smash that like button, comment, share, and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. But Sag, without further ado, let's get up into your message. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Let's see what this Egyptian God Oracle has for my Sagittarius collective. I hope all is well with you guys. If you're a new viewer, welcome. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. I appreciate you. I am collecting topics as far as suggestions from you guys. So drop them in the comments. Let me know what topics you want me to tap in on for future videos, right? So I would love to hear from you, along with, what's resonating, what you got going on, because life be lifing. There's a lot of stuff going on out here in this world, and I'm sure just like me, you, Sag, are just wanting to do your one too. Stay out the way, get your money, take care of your kids, if you have any. So let's see. For my Sag collective, what plot twist moments? Change. Some things gonna change. Some changes are coming, Sag, as it relates to plot twists. Now, this may or may not help you too much, right? Because change is inevitable. That's the one thing we do know. It's the constant of life. Things change and rearrange and uproot and don't look anything like we thought they were. And sometimes they do. And the change is exactly what we thought it was. But change is constant. So we're going to dig a little deeper as it relates to plot twists for your message, Sag. But what I'm channeling in some instant messages from Spirit as it relates to change, I'm picking up on changing the hierarchy and where you sit. That's one of the big changes that are coming through for my Sag collective, right? And before I start pulling from the tarot, he's sitting on a throne, right? He's delegating. And that is one of the major changes I'm seeing my Sages make. Learning how to delegate and put some responsibilities on other people's desk and or forefront of their mind or their budget and checkbook and off yours. So that change is big and a loud theme coming through as it relates to change for my Sagittarius collective. But let's get up into what's going on in this tarot. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus for my Sagittarius collective. What plot twist moments or uh-oh, didn't see that coming, are going to occur between now and the end of the year. Sun, Moon, rising, and Venus. I hope all is well with you guys. Again, I appreciate you for joining, tuning in. Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, rising, and Venus. What plot twist moments? One more card, please, Spirit. One more card. All right, Sag. Let's get up into your message. My Sagittarius received the Nine of Coins, Strength, the Page of Wands, the Knight of Swords, the Four of Cups, the Page of Cups in reverse, the Three of Wands in reverse, the Eight of Wands, the Sun, and the Knight of Wands. All right, Sag. So as it relates to your plot twist moments and from now until the end of the year, again, it's the continuation of that message where I talked about delegation. And I'm really picking up on a Sag collective who is training up and transferring responsibilities to children, young adults, not kids, but maybe teenage children. You're giving them more responsibility around the house to take some of that load off of you. Like you're teaching your young son and or daughter how to wash clothes, wash dishes, vacuum, do the house cleaning. Right? You might even be having them put some money up. My mom used to, you won't contribute to this house. Not like that. You may not even want to do that. I ain't really getting that. It's actually the opposite with this Nine of Coins. Like you being the sole financial provider of the house. However, as it relates to some responsibilities and tasks around this house, you teach your child how to cook, clean. They gonna chip in a little more than maybe they have in the past because they are maturing, growing, and you have done your part and or possibly burning the candle at both ends of the stick yourself, and you haven't received the risk. Maybe hasn't been worth the reward. Not that your kids aren't worth it, but it's like you sit back and look at, dang, how much time do I actually spend vacuuming? How much of my life? You add that up, you go down some crazy rabbit hole, Sag, of adding up the number of minutes because you have your cleaning regimen down to a science. Right? You vacuum every Tuesday and Thursday. It takes you about 30 to 45 minutes to do it. And you start adding that up and you realize, like, hold on, man, that's 2 weeks, 3 years. You start adding up how much actual time has been consumed of your life just doing domestic chores. And again, take the task or the topic as it applies to your situation and insert it into this message, Sag. But I'm using that as an example as far as chores around the house, the delegation and transference of some responsibility off your desk over to someone maybe you wouldn't have entrusted it to 2-3 years ago because they weren't ready. They weren't responsible enough. Oh, but now they are. And you more than ready to transfer it to them. And they may not necessarily get it right the first time, Sag. Don't yell at them too much. Be easy on them. I'm picking up some energy like you teach a young adult something 2 or 3 times and they still are not doing what you told them to do, but you need them to pick it up. You like, all right, come on now, I need you to pick this up. And not necessarily for you, Sag, but it's also for their own good too. Our responsibilities are, in my humble opinion, I strongly believe that our primary responsibility as parents is to ensure our children are capable, able to support themselves independent of us at some point in their lives. It becomes our responsibility to teach, transfer, elevate them into that place. And it will happen. Sag, I ain't saying you shouldn't apply any pressure, but you may have to apply some tough love, is what I'm saying. And repeating yourself, raising your voice, applying that pressure. It's for their own good. That you give them this message early and strong, as well as consistently, right? So that they can pick it up for when you are ready to pass the torch. Because I do see the elevation, right? They're going to get it from these pages, right? The Page of Cups, Page of Wands. You got the Knight of Swords, Knight of Wands. That's an elevation and an adoption of task over a time frame, right? Where not right away with this Page of Cups being in reverse, does this child or children pick this up, right? They don't get it quick. They don't just need to hear it once. They need to hear it a couple of times. And that may get or become a little frustrating for you, Sag. But it's looking like if this is your plot twist message, you are putting your foot down, and it's more of a plot twist for this child. And maybe at some point a year ago, when this year started, you would have never adopted this approach in parenting. And now you have done a total 360 because your life looks different, right? Maybe at the beginning of this year, you would have said, no, I would never have my child working and doing domestic chores inside the house or whatever the case may be. And now you're like, put them to work. Put them to work because you see, or something has changed in the way you think about legacy, the transference, Sag with the microphone, if that was a disruption to your ears, but a change in how you parent, how you see things from a parent's lens now, Sag, right? I picked up or saw a memory on my Facebook page the other day where I called out that this year, 2025, was the science of 9 for me. The science of the number 9, right? And you got this 18 at the bottom of change. And I'm being called to speak to the science of 9, the power of 9. Whatever you add 9 into, it becomes itself. It's like a reflection. This is children. This is definitely about legacy. What's next? That, being able to really level the ground, build up on something solid, and move forward on a plan that works for everybody. You see that? You see it, Sag, with the celebration of being able to adjust, tweak, change your mindset around how you parent and deliver over your legacy and transfer gems, information to your children, right? And with the sun being here, that's the most positive card in the tarot. The outcome, the end game is bright, beautiful, progressive, abundant, prosperous, Sag. by way of you just changing the way you think, how you deliver information, delegate tasks, and being able to do it without guilt. Do it with a certain amount of strength, because you're also still in the game. You ain't passing everything over to this child. Look, you provide keeping the lights on up in this piece, Sag. You know that counts for something. So don't beat yourself up as it relates to how much you may want to give your children. Sometimes that can work against you. So just be mindful of that as it relates to your plot twist message, Sag. I see how you parent and how and what you give to your children. You may even go into this holiday season very differently, saying, you know what, I'm not giving my children gifts. I'm going to give them an experience, right? Instead. And it looks completely different. And that change and that experience and what you do with your children, it lasts a lifetime. And it's worth its weight in gold in how your children think, behave, move, and go about achieving something. And you love that. So, yes, that's your plot twist message. Let's get up into the relationship oracle for my Sagittarius collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. I hope all is well with you guys and you are enjoying the content. Please let me know in the comments. I would love to hear it. But let's see. For my Sagittarius collective, plot twist moments from now until the end of the year. What do you need to know, hear, see, as it relates to some things you should be prepared for, Sag? All right. One more fold. Yeah. For my Sagittarius collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. 5 cards, please, Spirit. One more card, please. All right, Sagittarius, you receive karmic relationship, the snake, phoenix, seduction, and mirror. So as it relates, again, this is continuing from the tarot, karmic relationship. I know these are usually romantic relationships, but with that book ending mirror, your children are usually a mirror image of you, and they teach you something about yourself like nobody else can. And that is the epitome of what a karmic relationship is, right? So, and a snake sheds its skin, like you're shedding and getting rid of an old process, and rising from the ashes you have the phoenix, something new, something that is changing, and how you think is allowing you to now attract and not have to chase. Eddie Murphy says something real decent on his documentary that's out on Netflix. And no, I'm not promoting, but he said, I'm a sailboat, not a rowboat. Right? And that in that statement, he was basically saying, I attract, I don't chase. And with you planting and developing the young adults around you, even if it's not children, because right, I recognize that not everyone has their own children, but you may have some children around you that you influence, that you have responsibility for in one way, shape, form, or fashion. that are looking to you to give them responsibility. Children need that. Young adults, they need that so that they can transition into adulthood more smoothly. You can't just expect them to wake up at 18, 21, 25, these milestone years, and to naturally become adults. No, they have to be shown, taught, given tasks, execute, to be able to execute, practice, even fail at, so they know what to do. But anyway, I digress. My apologies. I brought up that quote by Eddie Murphy because seduction is here, right? Seducing and teaching through not just talking to a child. Like, I'm not sure if, and again, don't take this in a romantic way. Again, not all messages are romantic. And if you are here for a romantic message and you're not getting that, check out your rising and or Venus sign, right? But seduction, you are attracting in what you want to birth inside your village. Sag, in such a way that looks very different than how you once did it with this spread being here. The shedding of an old thought process, the shedding of old friends, old surroundings. You look different, you moving different than you once did, right? And it's attracting or allowing you to attract in something that is abundant and beautiful for your legacy and the people around you that look up to you, Sag, because plot twist, more people watching than you think. And it may create a reason for you to have to change how you speak, move, behave in one shape, form, or fashion, right? And again, if this is not your message and it don't apply, let it fly. That's what I like to say. So, but until next time, Sag, that is your message. And I hope that it helps. Peace.